Ah, bonjour, bonsoir, badekono surtout balandi ya communauté congolaise de Louisville, Kentucky. Babino, bienvenue. Bamudumbaka, président de la communauté congolaise de Louisville. Ndenge bokaki na basango eute koleka ke totikaki ndeko na biso Jean-Paul Bwenge ozalaki vice-président ya communauté congolaise de Louisville auti kotika biso na ba circonstances moko toujours arrivé à comprendre l'été. Mais seul le Dieu qui est le maître des temps et des circonstances, c'est le seul qui a le contrôle de toutes choses. Mais le coup la biso na momesanto kitaki to eba to sur la famille to eba réellement soki ndeko na biso attracté biso ndenge nini ezalaki ndenge nini ba o tozo yoka est-ce que c'est solo tozo ya lokuta de yango toye awa na kati ya ndaku oyo sika Jean Paul azalaki kovanda esika tikeli biso pe awa na ndaku oyo tozali na mwana na ye Janine akosola na biso na lopoto ya anglais et puis toyeba ndenge toko translate yango et puis toza pe na papa Amani oyo azali frère ya papa Jean Paul. Hi mama Janine.
Hello.
As we know, we heard since Sunday in our community in Louisville, Kentucky, that Jean Paul Bwenge passed away. But it has we have a lot of people talk about that story. So we know that you are his daughter, right? So can you tell us a little bit story what happened? Because we heard that you are the one found that date.
Yes.
If you can introduce yourself first.
Hello, I'm Janine, the eldest daughter for Jean Paul. We were calling my dad on Saturday evening, and he wasn't answering his phone, and eventually the phone kept going straight to voicemail. So Sunday morning, I decided to come and check on my dad just to make sure everything was okay. I have a key to his place, so I let myself in, and he was already laying on the ground, deceased. He was cold. He was alone. I called the police immediately. I couldn't do CPR because I couldn't. And they told us that it was a cardiac arrest.
Oh, since you called daddy, did you call daddy last Saturday before you came on a Sunday? And is anyone spoke with him on Saturday? Because people say on Saturday he didn't pick up the phone.
I spoke with him Saturday morning to come get my siblings. He came Saturday morning to come pick up my siblings, take my younger brother to an appointment. After the appointment, he dropped my siblings off back at home. My mother told him to go to the emergency room repeatedly, and he did not. So I guess he came back here. His phone was still in the car. His windows in the car were still down, so he left his phone in the car, which is why no one could get a hold of him.
Oh.
Yeah. So after that, I just decided to come here.
We are not to take you longer. I know that emotion, lost daddy, youngest. I know how we feel. We have an uncle, Papa Mani, which is director of a brother for Papa Jean Paul. Papa Amani, hi first.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself, who you are, with what relationship you have with Jean Paul?
Yeah. My name is Amani. Uh, Little brother of Jean-Paul Bwenge lives in Iowa with other few little brothers of Jean-Paul that couldn't make it here this time, but I think in the future you guys will be able to see him. Jean-Paul.
Okay. Yes.
Jean-Paul has a big family here, like I said. We were siblings of 9 people. And then just recently, back in December, right on a Christmas Eve over here, Christmas Day over there, we lost our father back home. And then we were still grieving our fathers, the loss of our fathers. So Jean-Paul was going through a tough time. I remember we was calling him all the time as the oldest son, because he was needed traditionally to go home to participate in funeral service for our father. And then I remember Jean-Paul telling me that he was not feeling well.
Since he used to be there.
Yes, so he had to postpone a few times his trip to go there because he had to go see a doctor and stuff like that. So finally he was able to accomplish what he needed to do with the doctor from his clinic. He got the medicine he needed to go overseas. And then Jean-Paul flew to go back home. But likely he did not participate in burial of his father, but he got out there a day later, and then he was able to go to the grave and then pay his last respects. And then we asked Jean-Paul how long he was going to do there before he come back. He mentioned that he was planning to go there anyways before our father's death. So he was going to stay a little bit to kind of check on mom and other things that's going on over there. Like, you know, when you lost a father.
Lost a father, yeah.
And then you are the oldest son. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. So, and then back home we have a lot of things. As you know, we came from there. There's lands, there's cows, there's all this.
It used to be the first time for him to back home?
That's like second time.
Second time,
yeah.
Okay.
Last time he went was in 2016, I believe, or a year after that. So this was second time to go over there. And then the main reason was to go say goodbyes to his father.
Yeah.
So, and then Jean-Paul came back. It's not too long ago. I think it was back
February
8th or something.
Yeah.
When he came back, I did not get time to speak to him, but I spoke to him one time to just let me know he's back, and he was not feeling well. Before that, when he was on his way back, when he was still home, he was a little bit sick, and then they assumed it was malaria. As you know, Africa technology in here is a little bit different, so it's hard to tell. But he was not feeling well. I remember that. We spoke on the phone, and he told me he was not feeling good. And then I remember when he was on his way to come back in Kigali, Rwanda, over there, that's when he started feeling bad again. And then he had on the legs, they were swelling a little bit. That's when we were kind of question marking what's going on with this guy. So we as family assuming when he was gonna get here, he was gonna go to hospital and get checked right away. But eventually, as you know, sometimes we might feel like we're good, but we're not good. So after that, I didn't get just to speak with him. No, I spoke with him one time again. It was a family meeting to kind of figure out what he did over there. Because he was like our father figure now. Yeah. So coming to him and asking questions, what happened there, what dad left, all that kind of stuff. And then he told us once he rests and then everything's stable, we're gonna arrange another meeting so we can kind of discuss about those things. But suddenly on Sunday, when I was getting ready to go to church, I received a phone call from the mother of our children, Janine, here. And then I ignored it because I was getting ready for church. So, and then I started driving. She called again. That's when I picked up the phone. It was through the messenger. It wasn't direct phone. And then that's when she told me she's got bad news. And then I told her I'm driving. I don't think I want to receive bad news driving. So dressed to her, and then I told her that once I reach the church, I will call her back. So I drive all the way to the church, assuming maybe it was just a family matter that we always discuss as family.
Maybe from a home country.
Past, maybe about the children and the father, maybe about herself and children, stuff like that. So, and then I didn't call back, and then I said I'm gonna call her back after the service. So I keep seeing my phone going off, ringing. So that's when I step out the church, and then I went outside to call her, and then that's when she informed me that my brother is no longer. And then I did not believe it, because I was just shocked, because Jean-Paul did not get sick. Jean-Paul, last I checked, he was online talking to his friends on Facebook. So I tried to stay strong. I did not believe it. So after church, I didn't tell my kids or anybody, family member that we were in church with. I waited until the service was over. That's when I called everybody, and then I let them know that my brother passed away. And then before that, I think Victoria, which is mom of Janine, told me that I tried to ask her what happened to him, and then she told me exactly the same story that my niece just explained to you guys. And then as a big uncle, so I didn't have much choice but to come down here, try to help Janine to go through this situation, and that is why I'm here. So next question.
Thank you, Papa Manny. So everyone heard about what you have as a story for that situation. How last question is going to be, because Jean-Paul, he used to be a vice president in our community. Jean-Paul had, I think, the big part of his life in Louisville, Kentucky, and everyone kept crying about it. Everyone want to give to the last testimony to their friends. So what the family plans about the funeral day for Papa Jean-Paul?
Okay. First of all, I am going to apologize or say sorry to everyone in Louisville, because I know my brother lived here for a long time. My brother loved Louisville because he had his heart here. And then what I mean about he had his heart here is these children that you see here, Janine, Stefan, and Jennifer, and then their mom.
Okay.
So Jean-Paul loved Kentucky, and he lived here for a long time.
Excuse me, Johnny, you are the firstborn, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Janine is firstborn, and then Jennifer is second, and Stefan is the lastborn, which is a boy.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we're speaking about that subject, even my niece that you see here, she's not happy with the decision that family came with. But as we know, we Africans, even here, we don't bury our loved ones to in-laws.
Okay, I got you.
So we don't bury our loved one to in-laws. And Janine here, and Stefan and Jennifer, they are the kids. So that's why I came here as an uncle, try to kind of assist. And then I was fighting my best, trying to see if we can do those things here. But 80-90% of Jean-Paul's parents, they prefer Jean-Paul to be buried where his relatives, more relatives are, which we didn't think it's a big problem, because I know it's a big problem for Janine. He won't be able to see her father's grave all the time. But we, as uncles and other people, we will arrange. Anytime Janine and other kids want to see their dad's grave, we will figure out how we're going to do that. But as for right now, I know I've been getting phone calls since I've been here in Louisville, different community, like a Congolese community. He had the Uvira community, and other stuff that he was kind of participating here in Louisville. So they all kind of try to come and see me and see what's going on, what's the program, all that kind of stuff. Shortly, that's the decision that came from family. It did not come from me. And then I know Janine cried when I told her that, but I told her to stay strong. It already happens, but it does not mean that we don't need your support as community.
Okay.
Jean-Paul was your friend. Jean-Paul was some of your brothers and sisters. Jean-Paul was some of you, let me say, maybe grandchild,
yes.
you know. And Jean-Paul, like he said, the president said he was currently your vice president. So Jean-Paul, we need your support somehow to make sure he rests in a better place. And then we want to make sure Jean-Paul rests in a better place with honor, because Jean-Paul is known everywhere. If you go to England, they know Jean-Paul. Canada, they know Jean-Paul. Africa, they know Jean-Paul. So the world is crying to see this guy who is people's person gone. So anything you can do to help the family, we will appreciate it. So if you did care for Jean-Paul, if you know Jean-Paul was one the person that helped a lot of people in your community, you will do the same to him. And the other thing I want to add to that, these children, Jean-Paul's children, they are our children.
Yes.
I don't live in Kentucky, but you guys live in Kentucky.
Yes.
So I will ask, like I told the other people, you visit Janine, check on Janine. Janine is our children. Put her involved in our African community. I'm sure she likes those kind of stuff. She wants to learn more about tradition.
Yes.
So President is here, is going to add you in a group. And then every time presidents have time, meeting and stuff, let her know. If she have time, she'll show up.
Yes.
And then we want to keep that culture so our children can grow up knowing what's going on in our African culture. So in brief, that's all I have to say. And then I apologize.